Another day, another look at a historic ballpark. We're going to take a look at Horlick Field today. This is in Racine, Wisconsin. My first trip to Wisconsin, actually, ever. I've never been to Wisconsin. I've been as far as Illinois, Michigan, that type of area, but just to make that little, I guess, connection there between Illinois and Wisconsin, that was kind of neat. So my first trip out in Wisconsin. I'm from Texas, so I spent all my life in Texas. So I don't get north too much. My father's from Buffalo, as you can see, family from Buffalo. But for me, it's been a little bit difficult to get up north. And now that I'm married to somebody that's from the north, it's a little bit easier to get up there. We visit there for the summer, so I got a chance to see these historic ballparks. As you know, we have been covering the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League historic ballparks. This one obviously is one of the big ones because this is Racine Belles. This is the one that was featured, or one of the teams that was featured in a league of their own. And they won the first ever league championship, and that was true. They got that right in the movie. I mean, it's a fictional movie. It's based on fictional characters and whatnot. I shouldn't say base. It's based on actual characters, just loosely based on real characters to make fictional characters, blah, blah, blah. You probably already know that. But looking here at Horlick Fields, it's pretty neat because the Racine Belles, like I just mentioned, they won the first ever championship there. They did not defeat the Rockford Peaches like in the movie, but they did win the first ever championship against Kenosha, by the way. And they won one more championship. But other than that, they kind of had a tough time after that. They ended up moving to, one of them was Muskegon. They finished in Muskegon, and they finished, after they left Racine, Battle Creek. Boom, that's what it was. Both Michigan teams, so Battle Creek, Michigan, and then Muskegon. Muskegon had the Lassies for a little while. And then the Lassies left town, and they actually spent one last season in Muskegon as the Belles, and that was the very last season. I actually got a chance to visit that stadium as well, and I'll bring that one to you later on. But we look right now at the historic Horlick Field. And shout out to the guys that are in charge of the social media accounts for the historic Horlick Fields. Losing my words here. They were able to reach out. They got a Twitter account, and they also have a Facebook account. Check that out right here. Pretty neat what they've done. They've kept everybody in the loop about what's going on at Horlick Field. So it still exists. A lot of these stadiums don't exist anymore, but Horlick Field is alive and well. This stadium is mainly for football. They actually have a football team there right now. This is I just had it. Racine Raiders. Just had it up. Almost lost it there for a second. But it's been around since 1907. A guy named Walter Dick designed it, the field and everything. And I've seen a couple of videos when I was trying to look through this to see if anybody else had covered Horlick Field. And they did, but they didn't cover the right parts. I mean, how were they to know? I went there. I didn't know the right parts. So I'll take you through that video in a second, and I'll tell you exactly what they looked at and what I looked at in comparison. So what sits there now is where the girls played is a football field, and that's where the Raiders play. They got the local high school teams that play there too, but I'll show you a little bit of that too. They were doing a lot of construction at the time when we made our trip over there, so unfortunately you see a lot of that construction type stuff. It's going to look pretty neat when it's all said and done. Natural grass is what it's supposed to be, but they've gone to field turf. It looks phenomenal. I wish I could see a game up there. Maybe someday I will, but it's going to be tough to make my way back up there again, seeing as I've made my way up there once in the past. I'll let you guess how old I am. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the historic ballpark that was once home to the Racine Belles. Oh, there we go. All right. So it's kind of similar. See, there's a parking lot, and there's obviously the street around it. It's similar to one of the one of the ballparks that we caught, Bayer Stadium, Bayer Fields out in Rockford. So they got this cool plaque. Lets you know it's dedicated. There you go, home of the Racine Belles. So the league existed 1943 to 1954, but obviously, like I said, they moved to Battle Creek, and then they moved to Muskegon. So the franchise was around, but they didn't finish in Racine. This is the actual structure. The whole, everything still intact. And I love that about the stone. Trying to get a good look here. This is before I found a way in on the other side, but I'll show you that in a moment. This is where they played, right here. It's a football stadium. They're putting in field turf right now. That's probably going to look phenomenal. And I think that one of the guys on social media reached out to me and told me about the plans and everything. I looked up the social media account a couple of times. They did plan on having like a showing of a league of their own there, so they still keep that legacy alive, and I love that. Like I said, that's what I loved about Bayer Stadium as well. They had a lot of information there at the field to let you know that this was once home of the Rockford Peaches, as this is letting you know Racine Belles play there, amongst other teams too. But yeah, this is exactly where it was. See the stone walls back there? This is where the home run line was. Home plate was pretty close around this area. Man, I really hope that I really wish that they would put a home plate somewhere where it actually was. I think that should be in every ballpark ever. But looking around here, going down the street, this is all the same stone walls that have been intact for quite some time. I don't know if it's been there since 1907. I like to think it was, but so yeah, I made my way down here because I wasn't like I said, I wasn't sure exactly if this was going to be the correct location of the field, and I'll show you what I mean there in a moment. I went as far as I could around the stadium. Man, look how perfectly intact it is. I love that. It's so cool. It's a long walk, and then you go around the other side. I wasn't even sure if I was hitting the right places at some point. So I wasn't sure what I was going to be filming, and other than that, you did come to a couple stopping points where you really couldn't go any further without having to walk in some mud and uphills and stuff like that. So I got what I could. I think I got enough to show everybody exactly how this field looked. But yeah, I've seen a couple of videos, and I'm going to go around the corner here in a moment. I like to think this is the original door, too, but I have no idea. If anybody knows, let me know. But yeah, I went around the corner here, and it's a baseball or a softball field. And I'm like, is this where they played? You know, because this is a baseball field. You think that they made it on top of the place where the Racine Belles once played, but no, it wasn't. Here we go, around this corner here. And, of course, I don't know my limitations here, trespassing and whatnot, but they're just doing construction. Nobody really mind what I see. I'm sure lots of other people are doing it. And I saw some games going on here, a tournament. See, look at that field turf. They just put that in. It's phenomenal. And I love that they have the original stone there as part of the outfield, just to kind of throw that little ambiance of the old ballpark there. Obviously, it doesn't go all the way down, but they use some of it. Man, that's so cool. Genius. But right there, those stands in that field where you could see a little bit, that is where the original field is again. It's where the Racine Belles played. But I'm getting shots of this because, just in case, this is where they played. I wanted to make sure I got it, but I figured out that it wasn't. In the video that I saw, there were people walking around here, their concession stands. I heard the Racing Raiders actually. There's my family there. My Aunt Eileen, my son Liam, my son Zane, and my wife Danielle, who you've seen a couple of times on the show. But that was the best I could do. And then I start coming down here. I start realizing exactly that, there's not much to look at over here. So there's really no point in kind of pursuing this any farther than I need to. And plus the construction. I mean, it's kind of a bummer. I'm glad I actually got to see the new field turf and at least the softball field or baseball field. I think they're doing all the way around, but yeah, it was a lot of construction, so I didn't get to see the finished product, and bit of a bummer, but I obviously can't make my way back up there again just to kind of get that new. Okay, so this is me on the other side. So this is the very front where I was looking at before. I found another way in, and they're just working in the construction, so I kind of just made my way in and got some sights of where I believe home plate was. This is where, in the pictures that I see, this is where home plate was around this area. So you see the left field wall there in the background. But yeah, the football team. Oh look, I forgot. You do see some of the field turf there. Look at that. Man, that's going to look awesome when they're done with this. High schools use it, like I said. The Racine Raiders, the minor league football team, use it. So they're going to have a pretty cool-looking site when this is all said and done. But yeah, that I posted not too long ago, and I'll see if I could post it. I guess that's the end of it. Yeah, I had posted one of them up not too long ago about where I believe that picture may have been taken, or somewhat close to it. But yeah, that is Horlick Fields. Again, that's where the Racine Belles played. And that's the first ever championship team. That's where Kit Hansen got traded to on a league of their own, and they won the championship. Not because of Kit, though. They actually won on their own against Kenosha. It's just another cool site. So those are the what have I hit? I think that's 1, 2, 3. I guess 3 teams that I've hit so far. I try to hit the originals first and foremost, so you can check those ones out. I actually wasn't able to get to Kenosha, but I got more fields coming. Oh, yes, I did. I'm sorry. Yes, I did. Kenosha, I'm going to try to bring that one to you next. At least get the 4 original teams out there. And then I'll start kind of going through more of the fields, more of the locations, and see where we're at. So, I guess that'll do it for now. Be sure to check in for more updates, more additions. If anybody else has any pictures here, any video, anything they like to share, I'd love to put it on my social media account. Of course, I'll credit you to go check out your site. I just want to let people know. I just wanted them to see how cool this stuff really is. Like I've said all along, this was neat. I made sure that I checked this one out in Bayer Stadium because I heard a lot of good things about the way they preserved everything. And they did. They did a real good job of it. Super cool, guys, for keeping that spirit alive of the Racine Belles. Let me know if there's any future plans about trying to put a home plate down, or if there's anything else going down there. I can spread it here on my end, and people go check that out.